Hi guys, so today we'll be solving the sum called number of islands. It's a very famous interview problem which is asked in almost all of the companies, and it's a very simple problem. So let's solve it. Given an m cross n 2D grid map of ones land and zeros water, return the number of islands. An island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent lands horizontally or vertically. You may assume all four edges of the grid are all surrounded by water. So basically we have a 2D matrix of ones and zeros. Basically one represents the land and zero represents the water. So we have to give an output of number of islands. So basically we have to count in the number of ones that we have and which is together, and that forms one entity which is considered to be an island. And which is the island basically is adjacent, and it should also be uh, there should not be water between them, and uh, it should be continuous. So for example here 1 1 1 1 1, this is continuous because it's not broken by any water between them. So broken by 0. So 1 1 1 1 and 1 1 1 1 1. So all of these is forming one island, and all the rest is water. In the second example, when we try to see that 1 1 1 1, this is an island, okay, because they are adjacent to each other and they are not broken by any water, that is 0. Then we see that 1 is here. So this is adjacent to it. So it can't form an island because it's broken by two zeros here. So this will be considered as a different island. And then we have 1 1 1, which is also a different island. So basically there are three islands in this. Since they have said that an island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent lands horizontally or vertically. So it should one should always be horizontal or vertical. We have to check in the horizontal and vertical direction if there's a one, and if there's a one, then we'll be considering as counting that in the island, and if there's no vertical or horizontal one, then we'll break that and we'll be counting the whole which one formed island was as one entity, so which will be giving us the count as one. And similarly, when there's an island in the adjacent, that won't be counted in that entity, it would be counted as a separate entity, and we'll be have to increase the count of the islands. So similarly here also, this is adjacent. So every adjacent element, you don't need to do anything. You just have to find if there's a 1 or a 0 vertically or horizontally. So let's solve it. We'll be using DFS for this, and it's quite simple. Let's solve it. For int, so we'll be creating a count variable which will be counting the number of islands. Then we will be looping for int I is equal to 0, I is less than mm, grid dot size I plus plus. For int j is equal to 0, j is less than grid of 0 dot size j plus plus. And then we'll be checking if grid of I and j is equal to 1, equal to 1, um, char is equal to 1, then we'll be just count increasing the count variable, and we'll also run a DFS function which will be checking which will be traversing throughout the land. So DFS of grid comma I comma j, and then we'll simply return the count. Now this will give us the number of uh, islands that are there, but we also have to ensure that no island is we have only one island which is counted vertically and horizontally. So to define that function, we'll be doing a DFS on the grid. and basically we'll be creating a function dfs vector of vector char and grid comma int I and j. Now we'll be first we'll be making grid of I j is equal to 0. So if that island is visited, so we'll be simply marking it as 0. And then we'll be running a DFS function recursion, which will check if the island above it, so which is I plus 1 comma j, is sorry, island below it is having 1 or not. Then we'll be checking if DFS grid of I minus 1 comma j, that is a row above it, does it have a 1, which means that it is on the same island. So we'll be checking above it and below it, and we'll also be checking in the right direction, which is j plus 1, and in the left direction. Okay, now we'll be creating the base condition which will stop the recursion. So if I is less than 0 or I is less than grid dot size. Okay, if so, sorry, if I is less than 0 and I is greater than grid dot size. So basically, I should be between the board, right? I can't be less than 0, neither I can't be, greater than the size of the grid. So basically, I can't be here or I can't be here in this part. It can't go out of the board. So we'll be writing that condition for I, and then similarly we'll be writing for j. J can't be less than 0 and j can't be greater than grid of 0 dot size. Okay, and um, grid if grid of I j is equal to 0, that is we have encountered a water, then we can simply return. So let's run the code. Yeah, that works. So let's submit it once. Okay, address heap overflow. Okay, where are we doing a mistake? Zero change. Okay, it can't be greater than, it should be equal to. So basically, grid dot size will give us the size of the array, but we have to check if it is at the end. If it is at the end, like if it is here, then we have to return. It can't be greater than grid of size. That will be counting one more than the actual size of the grid. So let's run the code. Yeah, that works. So hope you guys understood the problem. It's a very famous problem and an easy one. Okay.